Hello, we're back everyone with a special guest today. Her name is Alison Robertson. I am so thrilled. I'm telling you, I've been just so blessed with the guests I've been having on lately. And to have you is a special treat. And I think actually very much needed for all of us in these times in the past few months. So I'm so happy you agreed to be on the show. Thank you so much, Alison.
I'm so excited to be here. I mean, this is great, and I'm so thrilled with what you're doing. And congratulations on your show. And I'm thrilled to be here and talk and help and share and do anything that I can, because this is a great platform. So I'm very grateful to be here.
Thank you. And I feel like even, thinking about the show, even me doing something like this, I feel is just as a result of, meeting you and reading your book and things like that. All these things, little things have helped me to say, you know what, I want to step out and do something, and I'm just going to do it no matter what, and so I feel like you had a little part to play in that as well, believe it or not. So
because about a year ago, well, in October, it was a year ago, I got to meet you in Philadelphia.
Yes, I was going to tell everyone how we met. Yeah, we met in Philly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Alison, we'll get into this more in a minute, but Alison is also an actress as well. And we met at a SAG event in Philly, one of the first events I think I went to for SAG. And when I saw the bio, I was like, okay, I know I have to go see this one. And I'm so glad I did. And I went and I got my signed copy of Alison's book. And I read it, and we'll talk about it once again later, but I still use some of the principles that you talked about in here today. So
that
it's makes great. Yeah. So before we start, let's rewind a little bit, and I want you to tell us how you got into acting. Tell us about your journey into the acting world, since that's where I'm assuming you started. You didn't start off as an author per se. So tell us about how you got into acting.
Well, first of all, I grew up in New Jersey, so we are.
That's where I'm at now, right now in Jersey.
Where are you in Jersey?
I'm in South Jersey, though, not North. So
that's where I grew up.
Oh my goodness,
Jersey
small
girl. Yes,
wow. Okay.
So I started my journey in acting in South Jersey.
Got it. Common, we're in common. Okay, keep going.
My parents, born and raised in New Jersey, in South Jersey. So that's where all of my family is. And I worked at the Ritz Theater in Oakland, New Jersey, the Walnut Street Theater. I mean, so Philly is my stomping grounds for where I got my career started.
Awesome. Very cool.
So it's so funny that you asked that, because I was like, is this why she's, I know that you've read my book, but I was like, is she asking me to be on the show because we're from the same hometown? I didn't know you didn't know that. That's
I didn't realize that. No. My show is it's kind of like one of those deals where, once again, when this all started with quarantine, this is something I've always wanted to do, but in person, not necessarily this way. And I was just like, you know what, let's just go for it. And I really honestly didn't have a plan. I just kind of like, I just want to talk to interesting people that I, connect with and that have inspired me. And it just seems that because I'm an actor, that everything I'm doing is kind of falling into acting.
Right, of course, into the creative zone.
Exactly. And so then I thought, well, I can have people on that, maybe can help actors with, maybe health or,
right,
mentality or whatever as well. So I'm kind of finding ways to merge different things together, dealing with your passion. So yeah, and you just happen to be an actress too. So I was like, I have to bring that up. And you've been on some pretty good shows, right? What have you done?
So I started out in Philly, and then I moved to New York, and I went to Marymount Manhattan College and studied in New York, and then did the local theater thing. Theater is my heart. That's where most of my passion is and most of my training. And then I moved to North Carolina for some time, and I did theater down there. And that is where I got my TV chops, because of the Wilmington. At that time, Wilmington was a big market for people. Dawson's Creek and the Movies of the Week. And that's sort of where the Southern market started, a lot of TV commercials. And then I came back to Philly and I was in Tony and Tina's wedding there and swung up into New York. And then I journeyed out here to Los Angeles. And then I'm currently here in Los Angeles and have been here in Los Angeles for 20 years and have children here. And this is really where I found predominant footing in the television world, where I got to work on some soap operas and episodic television. But my biggest thing in Philadelphia was I got to be in The Sixth Sense. Yeah, which with Mike Lemmon was the casting director, which I know many people in Philly know him. And he was a huge champion for me in my journey as a young actor. And he was such a mentor for me and such a champion for what I did. So one of the things I have to say about Philadelphia and New Jersey is that as I was coming up and training and learning and all the theater I did, everybody in that area was such a huge influence for me and a huge support system the whole way. And thank God for, social media, and I'm still in contact with everybody, but they encouraged me so much to continue going further and stepping out of our big pond, go into an even bigger pond. And now here I am in Los Angeles. Yeah.
I love that you say that, because I feel the same way. I always told myself, when I'm up there accepting my Oscar, my Emmy, I want to give a shout out to Philadelphia, because I feel like they're the ones that gave me a chance, when I didn't know anything, when I didn't, brought me in for audition after audition, when they didn't have to. And that was like a training grounds for me to be where I am right now,
Absolutely. 100%. And I have to say, and that's the perfect word for it. Anybody that's in a small regional market that you think is nothing, right? Or you have a opinion about, let's say an opinion, right? Don't.
Yeah.
If you have champions or a support system that is training you, it's where I learned everything, because they would give me feedback, or they would say to me, that wasn't your best today, Alison. Or, I need you to be stronger here, or maybe your etiquette wasn't the greatest. And when I say etiquette, I mean my professional etiquette.
Yes.
How I'm behaving in the room, because I was 19 and 20 and 21, and all I wanted was New York. All I wanted was New York.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then once I got to New York, all I wanted was LA. So, and I have to say the same thing for Charlotte and Wilmington. They were the same training ground for me, but they kept me grounded about, hey, we are still having opportunities here. And they taught me how to make money, and they taught me to be an actor, and they taught me professionalism. And the greatest thing about being on the Sixth Sense set was that it was all local crew.
Yes.
And all the day players were mostly from Philadelphia. So it was the most exciting thing to be on a set with everybody that you've done an industrial with or a commercial with, and everybody cheering you on, and then to see the success of that movie. Everybody's faces that you've done theater with or you've auditioned with.
Yes.
For Mike Lemmon to have such a part in that and a part of that journey, it's one of my most exciting stories.
Yes, that's so cool. That's how I feel about Harry casting. I feel like they were like
yes, Diane. Diane was a part of my. It was just all of it, all of them. I'm grateful to all of them.
Yep. So I love that you say that. That's really, I'm glad you brought that up. So
I'm saying, do not think anything small.
Yes.
Don't think anything small that you're doing. Everything is a stepping stone to lead you to the next moment. What I say, it's the you're on the road that will rise up to meet the next road. So don't ever underestimate where you're standing now, and celebrate where you are today.
Yes. Like for example, right now I feel like right now I'm in co-star land. I'm booking the co-stars, and I'm like ready to go to the next level, and but you're right. I keep telling myself, you know what? Be thankful for what you have and how far you come, because now you're here. So
I think I probably wrote in your book, remember, gratitude makes what you have enough. And that goes as far as where you are. And as actors, we forget, right? And I'm going to jump a little bit ahead here, but 15 years ago, I was in the soap opera world, right? I was on Passions, and I was on Bold and the Beautiful, and I wanted so much more. I wanted more. And I never took the moment to just be so thankful. Now, this was the days where you didn't get emailed a script. They actually dropped a script off at your door.
Oh.
So that's how you found out what your next show was going to be, or what your part, how big your part was going to be. So you would get a script and you would read through it and you'd see like, oh, okay, this is what's going to happen to me next.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Very exciting, right? So you get the script.
Reading, yeah, we get it, yeah.
Talk about anxiety. You're like, right? So, but I would love to go back to that time because I really didn't enjoy it because I was always wanting more. Now, I'm not talking about you shouldn't have drive. You should absolutely have drive and purpose and want something bigger. But what I'm saying is in that moment, be present to what is happening to you. So like you said, I'm in co-star land. Oh, Kisha, enjoy every second of that co-star land.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't mean you don't want more or you don't deserve more or you're not big enough to have more.
Right. And
but don't ever not celebrate being where you are right here, right now. And that goes for everybody. That goes for everybody.
Yeah.
And if you're auditioning for guest stars and it's not you, it's the next person, guess what? You're still there.
Yeah. Yeah. You're there.
Be grateful to that.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes that's hard when you keep,
of course.
when it's not you. I'm not saying you can't be disappointed.
Yes. Yes.
But celebrate
where you've come.
Yes.
And it's so funny, then we can take this as a segue into the next question I have for you. This morning, it's funny, I woke up and I was like, and just now I'm thinking, man, this is probably why I'm talking to Alison today. But I woke up this morning and I just was thinking to myself, like, I feel like I'm meant for more, but I feel like I just can never quite get there, like I feel, and I was looking back through your book again this morning and you were talking about jack of all trades, master of none. I am so that, like, I can do a lot of things good, but I never felt like I could do anything like well, and sometimes, and then, that takes me back to the title of your book. Like, am I not pretty enough to get this? Am I not talented enough to be where I want to be? Am I not, I don't have enough money, it's always that word enough, So that takes me into my next question for you is, what made you decide to write your book? And this is Alison's book is called Enoughness, and it's a bestseller, correct? Right?
It's on the Forbes list. It's on the Forbes list.
On the Forbes list, that's what it is. I knew it was something, some word or something, on the Forbes list, and it's so good. I can't even. We'll talk more about that later. But
thank you.
But why did you write this book? Did it have anything to do with acting by chance, or was it just for you and things you were dealing with?
Yeah, well, I'm going to say something. First of all, I want to say a couple things. First of all, in the beginning of my book, what Kisha was talking about was jack of all trades. We say that being a jack of all trades is a negative thing, but the actual poem or poetry or saying about it is that the jack of all trades means that you are adaptable, that you are able to handle many things, that you have many talents and many skills. And during the Renaissance time, you wanted to be the jack of all trades. It wasn't a negative thing.
Yes.
So I put that in the beginning of my book to say that if you have been labeled or you have labeled yourself a jack of all trades, a master of none, like that is what we in the United States say all the time, jack of all trades, master of none, and we say it as a negative thing and we throw it away. I'm saying to you, if you believe you're a jack of all trades, I'm saying lean into it, because then my book is for you, because I'm going to show you how to exploit and use all of those talents.
Got it.
And start seeing that what you have is enough. Because I've been a jack of all trades my whole life and thought it was a negative thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But thank gosh we are jack of all trades, because you know what that makes us? We're multi-passionate, which means we have many paths to come down. Right? So now we just have to figure out how to balance that, how to harmonize that, how to equalize that, and utilize those talents, skills, and go get what we want. So I want to answer that. How did the book come to be?
Yeah.
Well, being an actor here in Los Angeles and being an actor anywhere, competition is
Yeah.
fierce. And like you said, am I not pretty enough? Am I not talented enough? Am I not young enough? Am I not old enough? Am I not thin enough? Am I not fat enough? You know, you could drive yourself mad. And I have, worked with some of the best coaches there are.
Mm-hmm.
I have taken every seminar. I've gone to every SAG talk. I've done it all.
Mm-hmm.
In January, I will be 50. Trust me, I have done it all. Okay. So when I was told many years ago, about 10 or 15 years ago, you have the gift to help people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've known that my whole life,
Mm-hmm.
that I could help people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it was my business partner, Melissa, who said, why don't we do this on a larger scale? So I said, oh, okay. So I went and got some training and some certifications on how to help people, because I don't think you just hang a shingle.
Yeah.
And we started a firm
Mm-hmm.
in 2010 and started getting results with actors. Because I started with actors because that's what I understood. I understood the creative mind. And as we were going, I said, I want to speak to people. I don't want to just do one-on-one. I kept saying, how do I talk to more people? Like, how do I do more people?
Mm-hmm.
Someone said, well, it sounds like you're a motivational speaker. And I said, how does that work? Because I don't know how that works, right? I mean, really,
Yeah.
I didn't just wake up and say, this is what I was going to do.
Okay.
And someone said, I think you should put your thoughts into a book. And I said, I think, again, you need some training to be an author.
Yeah. I would think. Yeah.
So I reluctantly wrote the book. Because I didn't think I was enough.
Once again.
I didn't think what I had to say was of value.
Yes. Yeah.
So I went writing the book kicking and screaming.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I wrote the book, it came out, I literally thought, okay, I'm just going to share with everybody what people have taught me, what I believe, what has worked for me, what has influenced me. And maybe that reflection will help somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
That was my hope,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
No judgment, just compassion, empathy, and gratitude. That is my belief. And what's so interesting about meeting you was the week I met you was the week Forbes acknowledged my book.
What? Oh, I got chills. Wow. Awesome.
So I was out of my mind in Philadelphia. I didn't know that Forbes even knew my name, let alone my book that I self-published, that I just really thought that my friends and family were going to. So I'm grateful to anybody that reads the book, but if they read the book, I want them to know this. Everything I say, I've tried.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I share, I mean.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Everything I want you to believe, I believe you can do. And anything that you feel inside that you're questioning, that book is a testament that if you think you can do it, I'm telling you, you can.
Mm-hmm.
Because the book is a case in point that I didn't think it was possible. And it just keeps giving back to me the reflection that it is possible. Does that make sense?
Yeah, in total sense.
And I went into it. The reason the book is called Enoughness is because the entire time I kept thinking, like, it's not enough. This is not enough in the chapter. I'm not enough to write this. I can't even tell you the self-doubt.
Oh yeah. I mean, even for the show, I feel the same way. Same. So I get it.
And I think many people walk around with that imposter syndrome of feeling not enough. And as actors, it's beyond prevalent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. Wow.
And I think we all deserve a champion and a reflection, even if it's through a book or a person or just a casting director or a director or just a fellow actor that looks at you and says, hey, you can do this.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in you, and celebrate that win. I do believe that that's sometimes all someone needs is that one little reflection.
Oh, definitely. Wow. That's, and the other thing that, I'm just sitting here thinking too, is that I feel it's so important for us to do what is on our heart and follow that, because if you didn't follow that, we wouldn't have this book and we wouldn't we would have met, or we, you know, this wouldn't have been helping so many people, you know what I mean, if you did not follow your heart and do what, I mean, even though it was, you know, difficult, you know, like you said, kicking and screaming, we all do that, but you didn't say, forget it, I'm definitely not going to do it. You still pushed yourself and did it, you know.
Well,
And that's your gift. That was your gift to the world. And if you never did it, it would have never been available.
It's also, it's realizing, you know, that self-doubt kills more dreams than fear ever will, right? Mm-hmm. We will do something that we're afraid of more readily than we will than self-doubt. And I think that's what people need to have the most support with, is their own self-doubt.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So true. Yeah. Wow. Deep. Yeah. So your book is called Enoughness, and I feel like, what does that word enough mean to you? This word enough. If that makes sense. Like, you kind of did touch on it a little bit, but
I
what
do
enoughness
touch on it in the book, but it's reminding yourself every day, weekly or monthly, that what you have right here, right now, is a blessing, and that you have the gratitude for it. And when you see it for what it is in your life right now, that's what makes you enough. That you are, if you want to write a script, you have enough of the idea, you have enough of the outline, you can write it right today. If you want to get healthy, you have enough in the refrigerator, you have enough ideas on Pinterest, you have enough to start today. Mm-hmm. If you want to lose weight, yes, I would love for you to get a trainer. We can't go to the gyms, you can't do any of that, but you have enough to start right here, right now. Mm-hmm. Yes, I would love everybody to go to therapy, but you can start right here today. You are enough. Mm-hmm. And that was something that I learned, that so many people are waiting for 3 more things, 2 more paychecks.
Yeah.
1 more job, an extra degree, something more to make them feel something else before they start their lives.
Wow. Yes.
I'm saying, no, let's start right now with who you are. You are enough right now to have whatever you want. Mm-hmm. Is it going to be easy? Probably not. But will it be worth it? 100%.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
100%. So enoughness. And the reason I chose the photo on the front is because I live in a multi-generational household. I have my parents with me. I'm very New Jersey. I have my New Jersey parents with me. My aunt and uncle live in another town nearby. I have my teenage children. I have Melissa and her family, and she has 3 boys that are nearby. So I have this very big, what we call the modern family.
Yes.
I have a lot of people that depend on me. So a lot of times I'm walking around very pensive, when I'm laughing and I'm smiling, I am enough. Right? So that is why I'm smiling on the front of the cover, because that is the epitome of my,
yeah,
right?
It's beautiful.
You know, cool.
I love it. So now, kind of trying to relate it to acting, how can we connect this concept of enoughness into our acting? Which I feel like we're kind of already talking about all this stuff, but if there's anything else you can add to that, like as far as, you know, because like I said before, you know, we deal with a lot of rejection, you know, on a daily basis. And, you know, like I said, you know, I look at my headshot, I've taken a million headshots because I'm like, this might be the right one, you know, that was going to book me the job, you know. What can we do for ourselves to kind of like let that go, you know?
Well, I think first of all, before I talk about being enough in the, you know, arena of acting, I think the first thing is, as an actor, you know, please train. Please know craft. Please know this is a business. Please know where you live. And what I mean by that is, what makes you tick? How do you express yourself emotionally? How do you understand a script? It isn't just having a SAG card and a headshot. That is not what makes you an actor, right? That's the business part of acting.
Got it.
I want actors to remember that there is still a craft. Now listen, we've had an explosion with social media and YouTube and personalities.
Influencers, yeah, all that.
Influencers, listen, I fall into it too. I'm sure you fall into it too. Like, what are my social media numbers? And the industry is concerned about that. Okay. And I know for us on the side of 40, really wonder like what in the heck is going on in the industry. I'm not speaking to that. I am speaking to the craft of acting, the passion of acting. At the end of the day, you watch someone like Olivia Colman, David Tennant, gifted Liev Schreiber. When you watch these people on television, I'm a big TV junkie, so I'm going to go there, right? The craft. Do you know your craft?
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, if you deliver a self-tape or an in-person tape, and now we're in COVID, so self-tapes are, now you have the opportunity to do it exactly how you want it.
Exactly. Get it right. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Not perfect.
Right.
Authentic, clear. And that's my first thing, is really know your craft. Really know your art. Really know who you are. Right? And honestly, if you know that, and it's not that you can't there's perfectionism and there's imposter syndrome, and I could do a whole show with you on that. But if you really know your art form, that brings enoughness right there. And your headshot doesn't matter. Yeah. And your social media numbers might not matter, because you are delivering your heart and your soul, and you, as they say in the theater, you're leaving it all on the stage. Right? You know that audition where you're like, I don't know what else to do. I gave it everything I got.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's where I'd like you to get to in acting. So there's two different things. Yes, social media numbers, your headshots, your agency, that's business. Don't forget the craft. That will help you fulfill yourself in enoughness. The other thing is, I say have a team around you. I'm not talking about your representation. I'm talking about your board of directors, your creative reflection. Who are the 3 to 5 people that you're going to share the highs and the lows with? Right? Containment. I have an audition. I have something good going on. I had a bad audition. How do I create this bubble of excitement that's just about me, because you're the product?
Yes.
Right? Who are the people that are fueling your tank? What fuels your tank? What creates enoughness for you? A lot of actors don't know that. That's a lot of why some actors turn to drugs and alcohol or some sort of behavior, right? Because they don't know how to fuel their tank, because they get it from applause. They get it from accolades. So I would ask you right away, what fuels you? What are you passionate about? If it's just acting, you're in trouble.
Got that, everybody? Do I got that?
It's got to find, no casting director wants to hear, so tell me about yourself. Well, I'm in acting class, and I did this, and I did that, and nobody wants to hear that. They want to hear, I grow tomatoes. I make a mean upside down pineapple cake. I mean, they want to hear the thing that, I raise tree frogs. I mean, I don't know. They want to hear the thing that makes you light up, that doesn't deal with a script. Yeah. Unless you're doing something extraordinary. Right. You know what I'm talking, right?
Or something, yeah. Like, yeah.
Don't be afraid to be human. Don't be afraid to be human.
Yep. That is so true. So true. And I think we get this in our head, like, casting directors or whatever. And once I kind of learned to just treat them as people and just be a person when I walk in the room, that's when a lot of things change. So it's so true.
And they just want you to really make their job easy. Like, really, like, nothing's more disappointing to them than when you suck. I mean, honestly, and we've all sucked. Like, and I'm not saying that, I'm not putting anyone down. Please do not hear that. But we all have sucked in the room. Right. And we sucked not because we're bad actors. We have sucked because we are in our head. We're trying to do it perfect. We're crazy that day. And guess what? Actors can have a bad day. Just like your accountant can have a bad day. I would really prefer my dentist to not have a bad day, but I'm sure he does have a bad day. But you know what I'm saying? People are human.
Yeah. And I was just sitting there thinking too that I feel like, you know, like training is important but it also starts with you. Like you have to make sure that you are in your mindset is right. And so you know, nothing's yeah.
But when I say training, I'm just not talking about going to acting class. That mindset's important. But what is your fuel? If you're someone that loves to ice skate, then you should be ice skating because it sets your mindset up. If you're somebody who, you know, I talk about this in the book, that how you speak to yourself is so important, and not just for acting, but your whole life.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Because I mean, you know, we have to be a rounded person, and you know, even as an actor, we're dealing with things in our life, you know, like, you know, heartbreak or, you know, loss or all these different things that we're dealing with on a daily basis.
Here's the thing that actors need to remember is that we are playing the human condition, right? That's what we're playing, the human experience. If you aren't living it, how do you expect to play it? Mm. And you also have to know, the original statement I said is know where you live.
Okay.
What makes you cry? What makes you feel empathy? What makes you angry? How do you access those feelings within yourself? And are you brave enough to share? Mm-hmm. 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 Not all actors are, right?
Yeah. No, it's true. Yeah. Like just knowing who you are, because I kind of came to this epiphany recently again. I was taking this comedy class, and I was doing these scenes, and and it's funny because I'm in real life, like my friends tell me all the time, like, you're funny. Like most people don't know that because I don't bring that to the table all the time. But I like have like really weird expressions. I'm just, you know, and I thought I would do well in this class, but I realized that I wasn't bringing my authentic self to the class. I was being like a caricature thing.
You're purpose, right? Yeah. Because I find that if this is not something you access or you share with people often, then this is just my theory, everybody. You don't take it or leave it. But if you don't access this on a normal basis, then when you go to call on your instrument, your body, your soul, your spirit, your mind, and you say, okay, now we're in a scene and I'm going to call upon myself to do it. Your body, your mind, your spirit goes, excuse me, we don't normally do this. And now you'd like us to access it? No, thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank you. And that's how I am with vulnerability. Right? I'm not a big one for being vulnerable among strangers. So if I get on stage and I go to access it, my whole body's like, no, we don't do this. So I have had to, when I train or when I go into class, that's all I work on is how to be vulnerable in front of 30 strangers. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Because if I can't be vulnerable in front of 30 strangers, how would I ever be able to do that on a set?
Yeah. And that's how you book. That's how you book the audition, because they want to see you. You know,
authentically, what you bring to the table, right? And we're in a perfect time right now to practice all that, to access all that. There's so much opportunity right now for us as actors to train.
Yes, so true. Yeah. There's, you know, my mind was spinning when I was like, I knew you were going to talk about your book today, because there's so many things I wanted to talk about. So I'm going to try to, you know, be specific. But
sure.
One of the chapters that I loved, one of my favorite chapters, was gifts versus passion. I love that chapter because that was one of the things that I, you know, have held on to since we met, you know, and from the book, because it made everything so clear for me, you know, like, what is my gift? This is my gift. This is my passion, you know, and separate the two. Can you share with us kind of a little bit about that concept or idea of gift versus passion?
Yes, it's really funny because it's a concept I came up with in my coaching, and it's I'm going to explain it to your audience. It's really funny because it really can people either take to it or it really upsets them, because it's a mindset, right? especially here in Los Angeles. So gifts versus passion. I believe everybody has a gift and they have a passion. And everybody likes to take their gift and their passion and put it together, right? And I think if you can separate them out, you will be so much happier. So let me explain. A gift, a passion, and I think lots of people have lots of talents, right? Lots of talents, but a gift and a passion. I'm going to use myself as an example. So my gift, and your gift is usually something you've been doing since you were a little kid, right? And sometimes it's something really sexy and cool, and sometimes it's something that's not sexy and cool. So my gift is that I have always, and I can remember doing it in kindergarten, been able to understand and help people emotionally. I just know how to move somebody from point A to point B, where they are, and make them feel okay in whatever choices they are making. And as I got older into adulthood, I just understand how to clear your path and get you what you want. That is my gift. Whether I want to do it or not, it is in me. And my business partners is organization. She can just organize anything. It's not sexy or cool, but she just can, right? She has to accept it. My passion is acting. I will do it anywhere. I will do it on a TV set, or I will do it in a church basement because I love it, right? I have a passion for it. Now I have happened to make money at my passion, right? But I have two different things. And I have lots of talents. I can sing, I can cook, I'm great at crunching numbers, I make a mean gift basket. So those are just talents I have.
Got it.
But a lot of times here in LA, I'm going to use LA as an example, people want to be actors. That is it. They think that's their gift and their passion, and they might be ignoring something that could really be either making them money or fueling them in a way that if they would separate it out, their whole worlds could explode. Wow. Does that make sense?
100%.
Okay. So how can you tell me how that impacted you? I would love to hear.
I mean, I'll even use this right now as an example, because I actually mentioned this to my friend the other day. I was like, I'm kind of nervous about starting this talk show because I don't want people to just see me as a talk show host, because I really want to be an actress, but I love this.
That is what, hold on, I'm going to interrupt you. That is what everyone does. They go like, but if I go over here, then you're going to think I'm not this anymore. So exactly. Now I'm going to give you the free frame, which is you are multi-passionate. Under that umbrella, now tell me about your gifts and your passions, okay?
Yes. So I feel like my gift, like I said, is I love communicating. I love communicating with people. I love to listen. I like to I love to inspire. Those things are important to me. I am, just being with people. I just love people, period. And I feel like that is probably a gift of mine, I feel. And obviously my passion is storytelling. I love acting. And like you, I will do it I've done it for free many times. I've created my own work. I'll do whatever it takes to be an actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, there's so many times that people get it confused, right? Like Daniel Day-Lewis, his gift is acting. Mm-hmm. I don't know what his passion is, but he's someone that probably has to act. Like it's just, whether he wants to or not, he has to do it. It's his gift, right? Christina Aguilera, I use this example all the time. Her gift is she just came out of the womb singing.
Yeah.
Right? It just happened. Now, but she probably has some passions, but that's what I'm trying to say to people. Separate them. She probably has other things that she does, right? And when people figure this out, but sometimes when I bring this up to people, they get mad. Yeah, because it looks like I'm taking something away from them. Right. And I'm not. What I'm doing is I'm expanding your foundation. Mm-hmm. Right? Because you don't know now, because you separated out, wait a minute, I'm a great communicator. That might be my gift, is communicating, and my passion is storytelling.
Mhm, mhm,
Wow, what happens if I separate them out and start to explore both?
mhm.
Look what you've done. You've created a platform where you get to use both,
Right. Yeah. True. True. Yeah.
right? And you don't know where it will lead to. And if you kept that idea in your head,
Mhm.
you never know what could happen,
So true. That's
right?
what.
Just like you said, if I had kept my idea in my head, I would have never written the book. And I don't know about you. Do you ever get a little hiccup where you think, oh my God, what if I had never done this?
Yeah.
Like where you have a little, what, you know, I could have interfered with fate or destiny or, and where are we doing that so often? Where our fears are holding us back,
Mhm, mhm. Yeah.
right? And I'm saying if you have a thought about something, at least write it down. I have a technique I'd love to share with your audience about
I think it's the
if
one other
they
one I was going to say that I like, but go ahead.
if they have it is like to get index cards. They're cheap, right? You get them on Amazon and kind of write down every idea you have. And you just keep them. And so if you think I have a script idea, or I want to start a talk show, or I want to clean out a closet, or I want to start a college fund, or whatever, I'm trying to give more than just creative ideas, but any idea that you have. And every time you have a thought on how to generate that idea, just write an action item under it. And you just keep writing them, right? And then after a while, you lay the cards out and you sort of see like, oh, this one really has legs.
Mhm,
Oh, that idea that I've been thinking about, I've written one action item or one idea under. So you start to see what's real
mhm, mhm.
or what has legs or what, and
Yeah.
then you start to see where you want to focus. Or if you're like, no, this one that I'm not writing any items under,
Mhm,
I still want to do it. Why am I not paying attention? What is my fear?
mhm,
Do I need support? Do I need to get a coach? Do I need to get a second pair of eyes? Do I need a partner?
mhm, mhm.
It's a
That's
great way to sort of
mhm.
get it out of your head and get it. It's the way you take a dream and turn it into a goal,
Mhm.
right? And start to give it legs so that it can walk and become something.
Yeah, yeah, because so many of us have. I know there's other things in my life that I want to do, and you know, it's just like that fear, like you said, it's just impossible. I can't raise money to create a film. I can't do this. It's just but it's not. You have to just.
So put it down. All I'm saying is it doesn't cost you anything to put it down and see what traction it could get.
That's true. Right. That's so true. Yeah. So yeah, that's so good. I also use the one with I still have it. You told me to get a whiteboard and I still write down the
The
stuff.
whiteboard technique is a version of the card. So the whiteboard technique is where you take a whiteboard, because I believe lists, like a to-do list, becomes a little discourse, like a little dissonance, right? It's like a din, right? We write our lists, we start scratching them off, and then we get frustrated by them and we start over.
Mhm,
Or we feel defeated by our to-do lists,
mhm,
or
mhm.
we feel uninspired by our to-do lists, because everyone's like, no, I write lists. So I was like, yeah, are you getting them done? They're like, no, I have notebooks and notebooks. I'm like, I know. But if you get a whiteboard, you take the whiteboard and you put categories at the top of your life, whatever it is, from your household to creative to your job. And what I call it is brain dumping. So every time you think of something, you put it under the category.
Mhm.
Filling a prescription, doing your taxes, writing a script, fundraising, getting new headshots, talking to your agent, and you just put it under each category. And it just keeps growing.
Mhm.
And every day or every week, right now I think it's probably every day because we're in COVID, take 3 to 5 things that you're going to accomplish. No more, no less. 3 to 5 things. And you get them done, and then you wipe them off the whiteboard.
Mhm.
And as things enter your brain again, you fill them in. So it's like the board is alive.
Mhm.
And and then you get to see what you're ignoring in your life. And
That's
then
the most because that could.
to evaluate whether, am I ignoring this because I don't want to do it? Or I'm ignoring it because I'm having a block, or I'm ignoring this because this is just a job that nobody wants to do. So then you ask for support and help.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the part I like the most, because I saw there was stuff sitting there and I'm like, okay. Yeah. And that's it. It's an eye opener as to what you're avoiding and need to
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But it's alive. It looks at you, right? It sort of talks to you.
Get me done. Yeah. There's also one other thing, and I don't know if you're gonna remember, because I'm sure when you do your talks, things change and work. Things come off, the top of your head. You had told this story, and I can't remember exactly it, but I remember it made an impact on me. It was about the women that spin the plates.
Oh, my soundboard. My
Yeah.
soundboard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me that again, because I remember it made an impact on me, but I can't remember why.
It's in my book also. So this is the thing. I believe balancing, that like everyone tries to balance their life, right? I'm trying to balance my life. I'm trying to balance my schedule. And, balancing makes me think of two scales. And when I think of scales, I'm constantly like, okay, that feels very stressful, right? So then we switch it to, especially here in LA, I got a lot of plates spinning in the air, right? I got a lot of plates, right? I've got my acting career, I've got my coaching, I've got my book, I've got my family, I've got my business. And I'm saying, look, I'm running around keeping these plates spinning in the air. God forbid I want to do hot yoga, like I reach down to spin another plate. This feels very stressful, very anxious, or God forbid I get sick or get a cold or want to take a vacation. What happens to all these plates, especially as a multi-passionate entrepreneur or creative? It is our job to keep these things moving, right? We're not in a 9-to-5 situation. So if I'm not making this inertia happen, as you can see, what happens if I go away? These plates fall on the floor. No, I am not interested in that. This is why actors and entrepreneurs and creatives are crazy about their time. And I can't take a vacation, and I can't come to your wedding, and I can't come to your birthday party, and I have to go to rehearsal. Do you hear me? For what? I'm making no money. For what? For a dream that constantly disappoints me. No. So I want to take all of this and drop it into a soundboard. The soundboard, you're in a recording studio. It has all the dials and all the knobs and all the things, right? And the person, I say it's a man, but it could be a woman, but it's the man sitting behind the board, and he's the chillest, coolest guy on the planet, right? He listens to the music or the singer, and he adjusts the knob, and he listens, and he harmonizes, and he listens, and he equalizes. Very chill, all right? He doesn't go bass, I'm done. He doesn't go volume up, I'm finished. He's not balancing, he's listening, he's equalizing. So why did I give this big description? Because this is how I want you, multi-passionate people, to do their lives. I want you to figure out your soundboard, and I want you to say, this is my acting career, this is my family, this is my side hustle, this is my finances, this is my family, this is my parents, this is my dreams, this is my script, this is my book, this is my speaking, and you put everything on this soundboard. So now, is everything at a 10? If everything's at a 10 in your life, please go to my website and make an appointment with me, because you're insane, okay? But what I want you to do is say, oh, I have an audition this week. Yeah, that knob's going up to an 8, but my kids need to dial down. I'm not going out with my friends. I'm not taking any phone calls. I'm pulling back on my clients. Because what creatives love to do is, I have an audition, I'm canceling everything, I'm quitting my job, I'm locking everything down. And then after the audition, they go,
oh my gosh,
what did I just do?
And
I did my life for 1 hour.
And then you don't book the job. And then it's like, what? Then what?
So what I'm saying is, this says that everything in your world is important, but not everything has the same nuance or finesse. But what this gives you the power to do is touch everything. I want you touching your soundboard every day. And some days you're up here all day long. And some days you're like, I can't over here. And there is a big dial. There is a big dial that maybe you're constantly, maybe it's your kids, maybe it's your sick parent, maybe it's your finances. There's a worry dial. And you know it. It takes your hand and puts it right there. But you remember that sound guy. He is not like this. Yeah. He's not running around like a crazy person.
Yes.
Very chill. I always said in my book that he's smoking pot, and probably people get very upset with me, but you know, maybe he is, but he's chill regardless.
Yeah.
So I don't want you spinning plates. I don't want you balancing your life. I don't want you balls in the air. I want you doing it as a soundboard. And you have control. You're in control of where your life is going. You're in control of what gets your attention. And you have the right to say to somebody, I say it in my household all day long, I am not there yet. My Italian mother from New Jersey, every morning at 6:30 a.m. asks me what's for dinner tonight. And I will say to her, I am not there yet. Because I am not there on the soundboard. It gives you control. I'm sorry for that long explanation, but I hope that was helpful.
No, I think we all need that. I know I needed that to hear that today. I needed that reminder. I knew that story made a huge impact on me, but I couldn't quite exactly remember what it was. And yes, that is so important, because people say to me, how do you do it all? You know, and sometimes I do. I'm like, how do I do it all? Because it's so much.
Right.
But like, just, you know, if you can, like you said, dial up the family here and put this back here, it gives you the freedom to not feel bad that you're thinking that, you know, like family is completely not important right now, but they're still there.
They're still at a 4, but what you're saying is you're at a 4 for the next 6 hours. I'm just dialing up my acting career right now to an 8, and guess what? In 6 hours, you're going to go back to a 2, and you're all going to go back up to an 8 or a 9. Yes. That's all I'm asking.
Yes. And that relieves so much anxiety and pressure and guilt from you, you know, as a person, to be able to have that feel that in your mind. That can relieve so much.
And I'm not saying that men are not experiencing this, but as women that are creative, that have families, this is imperative that you figure this out. And especially during this time that we are in right now, with shelter and stay and the pandemic and just the umbrella of it all. It's a lot for us all right now, especially if you have kids at home, trying to be creative, trying to be moms, trying to be wives, spouses, girlfriends. I mean, superwoman is an understatement right now. And the COVID fatigue is very much for real. The anxiety is very real for women right now. There's not a lot of relief. And there's not a lot of relief coming. So the reset is important.
Yeah. I'm so glad you said that. And we'll kind of, we talked at the top about coming back to me bringing up something open and vulnerable in this moment. I know in that class, you share with us, obviously, that you do work with people one-on-one as well. That's part of what you do. And you had taken a few people in the class and kind of went through a journey with them. And I love that. And so, speaking on anxiety, you know, I have definitely suffered with anxiety through my life. I am a very high stress person, because I'm that person that, you know, I want to do your job. I want to do it well. I have to be, you know, do it with excellence, and nothing else, you know, matters. And like you said, in this time of, you know, with the COVID and Black Lives Matter and, you know, trying to make a living, you know, it's a lot. You know, I'm a real estate agent. I do a lot of things. And so, you know, what is your advice for people that are dealing with anxiety during this time? You know, is there any other tips or advice you have for them and myself?
Yeah, of course. First of all, I have suffered with anxiety, and I have to say, you know, I've been dealing with it and it's been manageable for 20 years. And we were speaking at the top of the program before we started, and I was saying, you know, my anxiety really reared its ugly head about 3 months ago, and I have mad skills. I have mad skills, right? And I kept walking around and I kept saying to my boyfriend, I have mad skills and I am not coping. So if I am not coping, what is the rest of the world doing? I mean, that's a very I-centric thing that I was saying, but I kept thinking like, I am coming unglued and I know how to cope.
Right. I
So
see.
it's happening. And I think it was because it came so out of the blue. So I want people to know that if you have anxiety and it's come back full force, just be like, welcome back, here we are. And if you've never had anxiety before, welcome to the club, okay? That's the first thing. We have never been in this situation ever in our lives. So there is no parent, there is no grandparent, there is no elder that can say to us, when this happened to us, this is what we did. Right. So we are literally watching science in real time explode in front of us. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the best thing with, remember, depression is being in the past and anxiety is being in the future. So we really have to stay present and we have to really watch our judgment of others and compassion. You know, what someone posts on social media or what someone is doing, whether we agree or disagree, honestly, we got to just check in with ourselves and say, hey, that's not for me. Like, that's the first thing you have to start with is like, what works for me? I think with anxiety, I'm a big one, search for help, right?
Yes.
If you have the app Marco Polo, it's a great video. It's a video messaging app, and I do it with my girlfriends, and it's a great way, especially for busy moms, to sort of get it out, and you send it off, and then your girlfriend or friend send back. So you're kind of exchanging, not in text, but remember, anxiety is here. Anxiety stays here.
Like a ball.
Right? It needs to release. It needs to release. That is why people like scary movies, because they get scared and it gets released.
Okay.
Okay? Anxiety just keeps, right? You've got to release it. I'm asking to watch your feedback, your input, right? We're going into a very unique time right now, politically, socially. If you're an empathetic person, I'm going to ask you to limit your time of what you're watching. I'm going to ask you to limit your social media time. I'm going to ask you to have reflection back to you of what you can handle.
Yes.
And if you have to form a pod of who are the 3 to 5 people you're going to speak to every day that are going to reflect back to you. I have people that I literally say to them, what do I need to know in the news? Because I emotionally, I'm too fragile inside because I help so many people. I'm like, just give me the highlights. I don't want to watch it. If I need to watch it, tell me.
Right.
Because in June with the Black Lives Matter movement, it was too much. It almost killed me.
I believe
and I don't mean that from I'm not being hyperbole. I'm just saying I was like this. My brain could not. Could
it connect? Yeah. Like, is this really real? It was too much. It's too much.
Yes. So, but you know, I think the first thing is acknowledging that it's real, but no, anxiety is you in the future. So staying present, and listen, we're not a society that knows how to stay present.
Yeah.
So this is where being a creative and being an actor is to your advantage. It is what we have trained our whole life to do, is to be in the moment. So if you have kids and you're an actor, start teaching them how to be in the moment. You know, if you have kids that have anxiety, immediately say to them, what color do you see around you? What's the temperature in here?
Here. Yeah.
What color's mommy's hair? Bring them right here. You can even do it with your spouse. Touch somebody, right? It sounds so simple, but with anxiety, it's so sneaky.
It's, one of the things I always say, like, I'm a hugger. I love hugs. And I think that's why. And I've read that there is somewhat of a science to that, like just the pressure of a hug
Well,
can.
it's oxytocin. You're wanting the oxytocin release. So oxytocin is the feel-good hormone that mommies naturally, that's what makes them bond with their babies. It's also what makes men and women sort of come together, right? Oxytocin bonding, but that is, so you might have an oxytocin that overrides your anxiety. I would do some oxytocin research for yourself, right? Because you can even have an oxytocin reaction to someone's voice. So it doesn't even be the physical touch, it can be someone's voice.
And that's what I struggle most, because I'm a very, like, I like to be out, and being inside is like draining the life out of me, because I have to be out. I love being around. I want to be around people. I want that connection, and it's kind of like, who's gonna call?
This goes back to your COVID fatigue relief, right? You need to set up, like, what do you need? Because it sounds to me like you're at the top of your pyramid and you take care of.
Yes,
Right?
totally.
So what is it that you would need? And don't be ashamed of when you need that. Who are the 3 to 5 people that are going to reflect to you? And it might be people that you don't normally talk to. That's why, you know what? I'm going to set up a Marco Polo. You and I will be your first Marco Polo. Because sometimes it's that other reflection. It's a new reflection, right?
Yeah.
Do you need to take a drive to the beach with the kids? I don't mean get out of the car. I mean, just see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it, make a list of those things, because sometimes just knowing you could do it.
Yeah.
Right. I'll sometimes text my boyfriend and say, can we just take a drive? And him just saying yes makes me go, we don't even need to take the drive. Just knowing that option is there.
Right.
Right. So I think it's that. I think it's knowing what will bring you relief, instead of staying in the but.
I can't. Yeah. Yeah.
As an actor, but isn't the answer. It's yes and.
Yeah. I remember taking a class about that, a comedy class, a yes and. Yeah.
So, and I would teach your whole family that. I can't. My kids say I can't, but, and I always say, yes and. It just breaks the levity, right? It just reminds everybody to have the right mindset.
Okay, thank you for that. I want to kind of wrap up now. Before you wrap up, I want to just mention a few things, and then when we end, I'm going to ask you to give the viewers one piece of advice or something you want to leave us with before you go. But before we wrap it up, I just want to let everyone know that Alison, obviously, like I said before, she's a writer. This is kind of hard to see, but she wrote the book Enoughness. It's called The Simple Truth to Embracing You. It's a great book, and it talks about all different things, like what dancing around your dream, how does the world see you, your circle of influence, that soundboard that we talked about today.
And here's something I want to offer. You can go to Amazon and get it, and you can also get it on Audible. But if you go to my website, AlisonRobertson.com, you can download a digital copy for free.
What? There you go. What? Okay.
So when I'm doing interviews with people, we offer that out for anyone that's listening. They can certainly go and take it down to their Kindle if they would like. But if they do the Audible, it's me that reads it. So that was fun.
I need books though. I like actual books
too. But that would be great. And if anybody wants to reach out and give me feedback on what they think of the book, please find me on Instagram at the Alison Robertson.
Yes.
So, because that's how you and I talk, which I love. Yes. But this has been so awesome. I'm so proud of you. This is so fantastic.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Alison. So yes, guys, please go follow her is it at the Alison Robertson or at the Alison Robertson on Instagram. Her website as well, AlisonRobertson.com.
Yep. And there's a place for you to get the book for free.
Great. And how will people contact you if they would like to do like a one-on-one with you?
Everything's on the website, and Melissa can set them up. And you know, because of Zoom, I can work anywhere in the world, so it's really awesome.
Oh, yeah, fantastic.
Really awesome. Yeah.
Is there anything you want to leave with us before you go, Alison?
I do. I want to say that, you know, I made a declaration when I met you in October in Philadelphia, and I told you that my dream was to be an international speaker. Mm-hmm. And when COVID hit, I thought, how am I ever going to do this? And through Zoom and through modern technology, I am speaking all over the world right now. And so I do believe you can speak things into existence. It may not look the way you thought it was going to be. And the thing that messes us up the most is the picture of how it was supposed to be. So as long as you're willing to adjust your sails, it doesn't mean you're not going to get where you're going. So with that said, these times are very uncertain. I mean, very uncertain. And we don't know where we're going. But the people that can handle it the most are the multi-passionate, are the creatives, are the entrepreneurs, are the people that use that other side of our brain. So if you have a song in you, I ask you to sing it. If you have a story in you, I ask you to write it. If you would like to make that phone call to somebody, trust me, they are home now. I need you to believe in yourself. The rules are about to change. Everything that was done this way, we don't know how it's going to be done in 3 months from now, in 6 months from now. All I ask is that you remain safe, wear a mask, take care of yourself, take care of your neighbor, but do not give up on your dream, because anything is possible, because opportunities are going to still be open, and they're going to open up completely in a different new way.
Oh my gosh, Alison, you get me every time, girl. So good. Oh man, wow, so good. I want everyone to, I hope so many people watch this. I cannot. So good.
So proud of you. Thank you for having me on. It really means the world.
Coming on, and thank you for being a guest, and I really appreciate it, and I wish you all the best in everything you do. Thank you.
And we're going to Marco Polo. I'm sending you that request right now. Okay.
Wasn't that amazing, you guys? Alison just blows my mind. I had to hold back the tears a few times. It was so good. Thank you so much, Alison, for being on the show. If you are enjoying the content that I'm putting out there, please continue to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go to my IG page and follow me there. Follow Alison there at the Alison Robertson. And you will not regret, because there's so much amazing things I'm putting out there and so much more to come. This is just the beginning. I'm blown away by how this is just taking off. And I'm so excited for this journey. So please come along with me on it. And I thank you all that are already supporting me. You've been amazing. And I thank you all for everything. Those that are supporting me along the way. You guys rock. Thank you.